Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to another day here at Sunnahfollowers, and welcome again to our series on how to perform the prayers. And we've been focusing in on purification. Everything begins with purification in regards to the prayers. We talked about wudu, the pillars of the wudu. We also talked about ghusl, what ghusl is and how it differs from wudu and the conditions for it. And then we spoke about tayammum. And today what I'm going to do is whenever we speak about purification, you know, we have to also include within purification menses. And this is what kind of behooves me, because I'll hear a lot of sisters go to the brothers online and their Q&As and ask them about menses. And they ask, especially istihada. And some of the things the brothers tell you is just not correct. And they're doing the best they can do. They probably get the information, I'm hoping, from their wives, but their wives don't know the hadiths and are misinformed. So we're going to speak about menses from A to Z, starting today. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us what the menses was, how to recognize it. He talked about istihada. So I'm going to tell you what menses, the rules of menses from the Quran and the Sunnah, not from somebody's opinion or the misconceptions that are out there. And you sisters are going to be surprised to realize that, you know, half the answers that these brothers have been giving you are wrong, you know, about istihada. A lot of you sisters were praying on your period and your prayers were not accepted. Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. But first, what I want to do for today is give you it's like a final quiz, a final exam, just to see if you guys understand the basics of tayammum before I move to the menses. So let me just ask a few questions here and try to answer, you know, let me see if I can get participation from everyone in regards to these answers. Every Muslim should know the answers to these questions. Let's see. First question. Who can tell me the conditions of making tayammum? There are certain conditions, and that one that has to exist in order for tayammum to be made. Who can list all those conditions? Who can list all the conditions of tayammum? People on YouTube, people on Facebook, people on Twitter, Rumble, Trova, Twitch, D-Live. Good job, Sister Howard. And by the way, guys, let me remind everyone that the Sunnah Follow, my class, my Islam Q&A is tomorrow. My Islam Q&A is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Please make sure you guys bring your questions, you know, so we can get answers. I can answer you based on Quran and Sunnah and not imitation of the pagan, which means I don't know the answer, you know, or that nonsense, okay? All right, but who can tell us what are the conditions for making tayammum? Every Muslim should know this. Who can list all the conditions of tayammum? Anyone? Come on, guys. I want to do the menses class today, too.
Just the last one. When you don't have the means of water around you, or you're not, you know, you're bedridden and you have no water, so you can tap the ground and make tayammum.
Okay, the conditions. All I want is the conditions. Oh. So what are the conditions? You said not having water, and what else?
When bedridden.
I couldn't understand you because you kind of...
Bedridden and unable to get water.
Wait a minute. You're moving around, so it's kind of hard.
Okay.
And my ears are stopped up.
Bedridden. bedridden.
Bedridden. Okay. Can you explain what that is to the people?
When someone is unable to get out of bed, by no means necessary, they're able to do anything, and they might be paraplegic, like paralyzed. They can't move.
Well, if that's
But
the case, where are they going to get the dirt from? Okay. She said no water. Yeah, it's very hard. Her sound is bad because I don't know. She's garbled, and she's away from her mic. Yeah, I couldn't hear her hardly either, guys. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do something to fix the sound. I mean, I don't think I can, but they got to get up closer. Y'all need to turn your mics up. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here on Hawa and Metro? Metro said, what are the conditions for making a tayammum? She said there has to be no water available. Also, a fear of life. Like the water, a fear of life. Coldness, such as coldness of the weather or sickness. Good job, Metro. Excuse me. Good job. Any other ones? She listed some good ones here. The conditions are, first of all, there must be, excuse me. I'm sorry. There must be no water available. No water available. Secondly, a fear of life, meaning that, say, for example, you have a sickness, and if you can't, if the water touches it, it can make it worse. Or if you leave the house to go out and search for water, there's an animal, a bear is waiting for you out there or something. Okay, good job. Those are the conditions. Those are the conditions. Those are the conditions of making tayammum. Good job, sisters on YouTube. Okay, what about this? Now, who can tell us how is tayammum performed? Brother Malik. Is Brother Malik in here? Can you tell us how to make how is tayammum performed? Take the mic and tell us, how do we make tayammum? Brother Malik. Brother Malik, come on. Is Brother Marard? Oh, there he is. Okay, I want the brothers to answer. Go ahead, Brother Malik. Can you tell them how to make tayammum?
Tayammum, you have to make tayammum. You have to put your hand on the ground. You have to tap the hands, two hands, palms on the ground, like this, once, and then you rub your hands, and then you rub your face.
Okay. What do you guys think about his answer?
It has to be on the ground, outside.
Okay.
Any surface outside.
What do you guys think?
Grass, earth, cement, asphalt, yeah.
Okay, Sister Howard said she has to add a couple of more things. She said, you make the intention within yourself. You say Bismillah. Then you take the earth, rub your hands and your face, and that's it. Whose answer was correct, guys? Hers or Brother Marard? Whose answer was correct?
Our answer was correct.
Good job. Sister Howard's answer is correct. So this is how we make tayammum, guys. Okay? This is how we make tayammum. All you do is, first of all, with anything, any act of worship, you have to have the intention. Okay? And then you say Bismillah. Tap the earth with your hand. Rub your hands together. Wipe over your face. And that's it. Does everybody understand that? That's how easy it is. That's just how easy it is. Just, tap, say Bismillah, tap the ground, rub your hands together and face, and that's it. Now, what if there... Huh?
Sorry, can I ask a question? What
Yeah.
happens if you don't say Bismillah? Is it
If you forgot, Allah doesn't hold us accountable for what we forgot. But Bismillah is what you say when you make tayammum. But if
but
something
not when you
happened
make
and you,
wudu?
okay,
Wudu,
tayammum and wudu are not the same.
okay,
This is
gotcha. Okay,
tayammum.
yeah,
These are the rules of tayammum.
gotcha.
You already know the rules of wudu, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, don't confuse them. Wudu
Gotcha.
has its own rules, its own
Gotcha.
pillars. Ghusl has its own rules, its own pillars. This is tayammum. Everybody understand? Y'all got to stop making the religion hard. That's why I'm breaking it down topic by topic so you can see we're not talking about wudu. Because if we was making wudu, we wouldn't strike the ground, would we? We'd use water. Is Bismillah, Brother Malik, is Bismillah a pillar of the wudu?
No, it's not.
Okay, but this is not wudu. We're talking about tayammum. Okay.
Gotcha.
So Bismillah, strike the ground, rub the hands together, wipe over the face. But of course, everybody knows Allah doesn't hold any of us accountable for what we forget to do. Okay? Yes, good job. Exactly. So that was the second question. Good job on that answer, Brother Malik. Next question. If a person comes to water after they have made their tayammum and made their prayer, or I tried to break this question up. Let me ask it a different way because it's a different answer depending on how you ask it. I don't want to confuse you. If a person makes tayammum and has not yet prayed his prayer, but as he's walking to the mosque, he finds water, must he remake his wudu using the water? Who can answer that? Y'all understand the question? It's a question of fiqh. You're walking, you made tayammum, you're getting ready to go to pray, and you find some water. Do you have to redo? What do you guys think?
No. I would say no, because you already stated your intentions when you did your tayammum, so you're ready to go, unless you have broken it by passing gas or having intercourse or something like that.
Okay, everybody in the Zoom room got it wrong. The people who got it right, once again, is my best student, Hawa. Howard, send me that picture. Hawa. Yes, can you? And I wish she was in the Zoom. Can anybody explain why you have to redo the wudu? Can anybody explain why?
Because
you came into some water.
And what else? Go ahead, Brother Malik.
yes, like the sister said, you found water and you haven't prayed yet.
Exactly, because you didn't pray yet, number one. You didn't pray yet. And number two, I found water. I want y'all to remember, you can only do tayammum in the event that there is no water. This is before the prayer, Anissa. You understand? But after I pray, that's something different.
Yes.
I didn't pray yet. I can't find no water right now. So I just made tayammum. But as I'm walking to the praying area, wow, there's a bottle of water. So I'm going to go on ahead and make a wudu now. Good job. As Sister Howard is typing, you didn't pray yet and you found the water. The tayammum is only when there is no water. Y'all got that? Okay, good answer, people on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Listen to the second question. What about this? My water has been cut off in the house. I have no water no lights, no nothing. So I went outside, made tayammum, and then I prayed my prayer. After I finished praying, the lights come back on. The water is back running. Do I have to go and make a wudu now for the next prayer? For the next prayer.
Yes, you would. Because you're starting.
No.
You're starting. Yes, you would.
No.
Because you have water. That would be the same answer for first. You have water then.
I say no.
Okay.
Because
I'll say no
you have
too.
wudu. You have wudu already.
Okay. The correct answer is Mina and Brother Malik. Anissa, go back and listen to these recordings.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that before.
Yeah. Okay. The reason being is because she didn't break the wudu. Now, unless he breaks his wudu,
Okay.
then he'd have to go and make wudu again. Once you make tayammum, that's pure. You're pure. You're pure. The same conditions exist. I don't have to redo my purification unless I break it. I made my prayer. I still got my wudu. As the next prayer comes in, I can still pray because I'm still in a state of purity. Once you make tayammum, it puts you in a state of purity, just like using water does. So I don't have to renew it unless I do something to break it, such as pass gas, use the bathroom, or any of that. Does everybody understand? And this is what a lot of Muslims, they gave the same answer that Anissa would give. And some of these brothers that answer y'all's Q&As be giving y'all those wrong answers too. Unless you break your wudu, there is no need to redo it. Does everybody understand? Unless, let's look at the next question that I had for you guys. What about this? Can a woman purify herself after getting off her menses by doing tayammum if there's no water around? Okay, the lights went out. The water went out. I just got off my menses. I can't take a ghusl. I can't do nothing. What can I do? I got to pray. Can I do tayammum and go pray? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? This is where we get tricked up when it comes to women's issues. You never get the right answers from these brothers.
I will let the others answer.
Yeah, go ahead. Who can answer? You women should know. Zoom?
Yes, you can. It's still the same thing.
Exactly. Yes. If there's no water around, you just got off your menses, and those days may happen. Somebody might drop a bomb, and we have no water. We have no electricity here in the U.S. You just got off your menses. What you gonna do? You're gonna have to do like they did back in the day. Go and do tayammum, because prayer is an obligation. So you purify yourself by doing tayammum and make your prayers. Okay, everybody understand that? But what about this? I got off my menses. The lights went out in Georgia. And they took the water with them. So I got to make prayer. So I do tayammum. I pray. After I finish praying, it's time for the next prayer later. But right before the next prayer comes, the water comes on. And so does the lights. Can I just go ahead and make the next prayer? the adhan was called. It's time for the next prayer. I purified myself and prayed the prayer before it. by using tayammum. As the adhan is called for the new prayer, the water is back running. Can I just go ahead and pray with my tayammum? What happens then, sisters? Yeah, excuse me, I'm still sick. Really sick. Come on, guys, get on that mic. You sisters don't know none of these questions because y'all get these wrong answers from these brothers doing a Q&A.
She has to make a ghusl since there's water available.
Exactly. This is different than just regular tayammum. Because you just ended your menses, even though you did not break your wudu, you still, since the water came on, you have to pray. For you sisters that got the answer wrong, I can tell whose Islam Q&A y'all be listening to. Because that brother tells y'all the wrong thing. That's why I taught this. Because I heard his Q&A and he was telling you sisters, no, you don't have to worry about it. You know, you got tayammum. Go on ahead. Even though there's water. No, this is different. Because it was your menses. You sisters have to take a ghusl. You have to take ghusl. Okay? And you sisters know why. Menses is dirty. You got to get that smell and stuff out of there off of you girls. Okay? So everybody understand. So that's a little different than just a regular tayammum from not being impure.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so is it the same thing if you have intercourse?
Okay, I'm getting ready to get to that question right now.
Oh,
let's answer it together, see if we can get this answer right. What about this? You just had relations with your spouse and the lights and water is out. You have to pray. There's no water. Can you do tayammum? What do you guys think?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. So you do your tayammum, you make your prayers, and then right when the adhan is called for the last prayer of the day, the water comes on. What do I do then?
Take a ghusl.
Yes, in that case, you take a ghusl, for the same reason as the menses. This is a different type of purification. We want to get the smells and stuff off. So in that case, when you find water, take a ghusl. So in the case of menses, purifying yourself after menses, purifying yourself after sexual relations, using tayammum, you pray all your prayers, but when you come upon water, you have to take a ghusl. You guys understand? You don't make a wudu. You have to take a ghusl. You can't just sit there and say, well, here's water, I'm going to do a wudu. No, you take a ghusl. Even if it's a bottled water. You pour that bottled water some water in your hands and start rubbing it over your arms. Some more bottled water, start rubbing it over your body parts. A ghusl. Because the days will come. It's not going to be like this forever, guys. Well, we have internet, we have electricity, we have running water. When the last hour, right before we talking about the signs of the last hour, the greater sign that we're waiting for is the war. When that war against Islam happens, There will be no more electricity. We're going to go back to dystopia, to those days. The prophet said that every part of the earth will experience trauma. So the time is going to come. That little bottled water that you got in the grocery store, you'll be taking a ghusl with it. You'll be having to use it to wash your body with, like they did back in the prophet's days. So not wudu. You have to take ghusl. And ghusl means immerse your entire body from head to toe in water. So you, after sexual relations and menses, you wash your entire body from head to toe with that bottled water. Not just a simple wudu. Everybody understand the difference? And those days are coming. You think they ain't? They're coming. Okay? All right.
So, Shalala, I have a question real quick. So, on the part where the Prophet Islam said that if you don't have, like, if you only using the water, if you only have a little bit of water, and the water is for cooking, or if you're using it for something else, then you do tayammum with that, right?
That's different,
so say
too.
For instance,
Yes.
Okay, so say for instance what you just said right now, and we only have a little bit of water. Do we continue to keep doing tayammum?
That would be, if we had the dystopia done happened. We can't find, water is a commodity. It's going to be a lot of tayammum. Because that little bottled water that you got, it's got to be used for drinking. First of all, life. Survival comes first. If that's all you got to drink, then you just keep on tayammuming it. It's going to be some funky times, guys. Funky times. Funky times. We're going back like it used to be in the times of the prophet in the 8th century. Commodity. So if you only got that little bottle of water and you got to live off of that, then in that case, you'll be tayammuming for, like the prophet said, for 100 years if you got to. We gonna be some funky people. Okay? So for survival, to save your life, you keep that bottle and just use it to drink with. And just keep tayammuming, like the prophet said, for 20 years if he got to. But right now, we're not at that stage in life, okay? And right now, we have running water and all of that. So, count your blessings, because the day will come, guys, when we won't have these things. When that war against Islam happens, and it will happen, it's going to happen eventually. Okay, any other questions about that? Okay, let me see if I had any more. I think that might have been all my questions. Let me make sure. Yeah, that was my questions. So that's basically all you guys need to know about the tayammum. So everyone here should know the rules of tayammum, of ghusl, and wudu, because we covered all three of those things over the past 3 weeks. Okay? Today, I'm going to talk about menses. Let me put my PowerPoint up on the screen. I'm telling you, I'm not feeling good. You know what? Let me get some Gatorade right quick, too. I'm really having a hard time here. Okay. All right, inshallah, this might make me a little better. This is asthma now. This is my asthma. All right. That's why I can't get sick, man. When I get sick, it just triggers my asthma. My asthma doesn't act up unless I'm sick with a cold. Lord. Okay, so today we're going to speak about the rules of menses, and I want you brothers to pay attention too, so you can teach your wives and your daughters, because most Muslim women do not know the rules of menses, and these brothers with the Q&A shows do the best they can, but I have yet to hear any of them answer the way I'm getting ready to teach y'all today with these hadiths. Okay? And it's okay because they're men. Men don't know. The Prophet Muhammad knew because he was a prophet. Allah gave him the knowledge to share with us. So a lot of these brothers get their information from their wives, and their wives don't know. But so here we are. We're going to take it directly from the hadith. What is the menses? Now, our Prophet Muhammad explained what menses is in detail because Allah told him what to tell us. First of all, in Arabic, the word for menses is hayd, which means running, something that's running. But in this case, it refers to the discharge of blood during a woman's, state of health. We women experience blood from giving birth, from breaking, the hymen, and also menses. But in this case, hayd is not from giving birth or breaking the hymen. This is talking about the monthly bleeding that we do. This is the body's way of purifying itself for us women. And the Prophet ﷺ taught us, and I want you guys to pay attention, because this is what angers me when I listen to these Islam Q&A web shows. You guys hear these brothers tell you sisters that your period should only be 5 days. It should only be 7 days. They tell you that if you bleed over 7 days, it's istihada. That is not even what istihada means. That's not istihada. Because your period lasted 14 days, this is istihada. Nope. That's not what istihada is either. Our prophet, Allah sent the angel Jibreel to him to teach him about what a woman's menses is. Okay? And the prophet taught this to the companions, male and female. And the first thing that he taught was a woman's period is not determined by the number of days that she bleeds. I repeat, this hadith is authentic. It's in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. He says a woman's menses is not determined by the number of days she bleeds. A woman may bleed 2 days. Another woman may bleed 7. Another woman may bleed 14. My cycle, and I'm going to get real with you sisters, I have never bled less than 14 days. My period used to last 14 days. Okay? Every woman is different. My granddaughter's period only lasts 3 days. My daughter's period was only for 7. My mother used to bleed for 10 days. Every woman is different. Okay? So the Prophet Muhammad explained that to the women. He said, your period is not determined by the amount of days that you bleed. And I don't know where these brothers are getting their answers from, because it's not from Sahih Bukhari. It's not from Sahih Muslim. And I think it's because the hadiths are narrated by women. I tell you guys, there's this campaign right now to destroy the Bukhari hadiths. And I think what they're doing is trying to take away any hadith that was narrated by a woman. Okay? Because the hadiths about menses came from this women. Because the Prophet met with the women specifically after Jibril came to him to tell them what this menses is. And then he met with the men. Okay? So anyway, the prophet said, when he told the women that it's not determined by the number of days, they said, then what is it that determines whether we're on our period? He said, it's the color of the blood. He told the women, look at your blood. That's what determines whether you're on your period or not. The color, not the days. The color, not the age. By the way, the prophet also taught us that a woman's period, women reach puberty normally the age of 9. He did teach us if a girl has a period before the age of 9, it's not considered a period. 9 is the earliest that a girl can start her menses. I started my menses when I was 9. That's from my father's side. I'm an Arab. I'm a strong-blooded Arab, guys. But my sister didn't start her menses until she was 15. My daughter didn't start her menses until she was 12. My granddaughter, the 16-year-old, I don't even think she started the menses yet, but I told her, you 16, you got, hey, you grown, okay? So it's different ages. So again, but the minimum is 9. If a girl bleeds before the age of 9, we don't consider that a menses. But if she's 9 or older, and how long can a woman have a menses? That's determined by Allah too. There are some women who are in their 60s who still have a period. My co-worker, same age I was. She was in her 60s. She was still bleeding. So that's determined. A woman can have a menses up until whatever age Allah has decreed for her. Y'all get that? So I don't know where these brothers are getting their information from. Where's my dalil? I'm getting ready to pop y'all in the face with these authentic hadiths from Bukhari and Muslim that these brothers just don't know, I guess. All right, here we go. So it's the color of the blood. So what are the colors that the prophet said determines that a woman is on her menses? Well, if the blood is dark in color, dark meaning black. If what's coming out of you is red, if the color coming out of you is brown, if it's yellow, if it's a muddy color, this is between a black and white like dirt, all of that, it means you're on your period. Where's my dalil? This is here the hadith is from Atiyah. It's a female hadith. Maybe that's why the brothers don't acknowledge it. Because I heard they're tearing up Bukhari. They're saying that 20 hadiths. I heard a brother do an Islam Q&A show 3 weeks ago. And wallahi, he said that there are 20 hadiths in Bukhari that are not authentic. I don't know where he got that from. Because all the hadiths in Bukhari are authentic. So here we go. The women used to send boxes of tissue to Aisha to look at, for her to answer if they were on their menses. And she had to tell them over and over and over again that if it's black, if it's brown, if it's red, if it's pink, if it's yellow, if it's muddy, any of those colors makes it a period. Wait until you stick a piece of tissue up there and it comes back clear with nothing on it. That's when your menses is over. Okay? Now, how many of you sisters, I know I used to, you stick the tissue up in you, nothing's there. The blood is gone. There's no pink, there's no red, there's no yellow, there's no brown. It's clear. So you take a ghusl. You start praying. 2 days later, you see that yellow discharge. How many of those men told y'all that y'all were on your period? Check it out. Sahih Bukhari. After a woman purifies herself and after seeing that if there's no blood, the discharge that comes afterwards is not considered part of the menses, guys. That's the body cleansing itself. And this is based on the hadith of Atiyah. She said, after, I repeat, after we were purified, the yellow or muddy discharge that came a couple of days afterwards, we did not consider this part of the menses. Does everybody understand that? Because the female body is constantly cleansing itself. What goes up must come down. That's the laws of gravity. Do you sisters understand? So I don't know why these brothers keep telling y'all that y'all on your period. Once you stick that tissue up there and there's no more blood, it's clear. Your period is over. You take a ghusl. What you see 2 or 3 days later is from your body cleansing itself. That yellow discharge afterwards, or sometimes it's just light colored. It's not blood, but it's just like what we talked about, discharge. That's not the period. You just wash your private part, like we learned. When a woman looks in her panties and sees that discharge, you wash your private part, keep it moving. That's not your period. How many of you sisters knew that? Most of you did. Because you listen to these brothers who don't know what a menses is, and evidently they don't read the hadiths, or they think Bukhari is not authentic because it's a woman telling you about it. And they disregard it. Okay? Here's another hadith. Fatima bint Abu Habish. She had a period that lasted a long time. And she said, "Oh Prophet, I'm bleeding for days and days." The Prophet said, if it is the blood, the color of the blood of a menstruation, you can tell because it's going to be dark. The same thing I tell you, sisters. Dark, that black, that brown, that red, that pink, that yellow, and oftentimes it's got clots. If you see that, that's your menses. But if you see spotting, and I told you guys, can you tell what istihada is? Istihada doesn't even look like a menses blood. Istihada is not running constantly. Istihada is light in color. Real light. You don't even need a Kotex or a tampon for it. Okay? It has no smell. It has no clots. That's a sign that something is wrong with you. That's a sign, as the Prophet said, of a broken vein. That's a sign of either fibroids. I know, because I had it. A sign that you could have ovarian cancer or something. When you see that light spot in your underwear and you have no cramps, no pain, it has no smell, it doesn't look like a menses blood, it doesn't smell like it, that means take your behind to the doctor ASAP, because something's wrong with your reproductive system. Allah gives us the signs that something could be wrong. There are so many Muslim women that have to have hysterectomies because they didn't recognize the warning signs. They were thinking, oh, this is just this is my period. No, it means, like the Prophet told that sister, that means something's wrong with you. Go see the doctor. That's Allah telling you something's wrong with your organs. Cervix, womb issues, fallopian tube issues, ovary issues. The nurses here know I'm speaking the truth. Okay? So that's what istihada is. Istihada is not a menses at all. And so what I tell the women here, because so many Muslim women have had to have hysterectomies for ignoring this, this is what I tell you as a female dawah who knows. If your period starts and you're bleeding for longer than 30 days, run to the doctor. Don't ever go more than 30 days of spotting or bleeding. Go to a doctor, because it's a warning sign. As the Prophet told this sister, it's a sign that something is broke. Something is broke. And they can fix it if you catch it in time. But if you wait months and months, the only way to fix it is by taking your organs out. Subhanallah, sisters. Okay, so how can I tell if I'm on my period? It's the color of the blood, not the amount of days. If it's dark in color, it has that smell. Sometimes that clot, those clots, you got those pains, those aches, that's your menses. Spotting in between means something wrong with your reproductive system. And all of these hadiths are authentic, Bukhari and Muslim. Okay? And again, no minimum and no maximum days. We have the hadith of another woman, Salama. She asked the Prophet about a woman who starts her period and it doesn't stop. He said, if you are experiencing non-stop bleeding, look at the number of days and nights that you normally have your menses. And don't pray during those times. And then for the others, take a ghusl and tie something up and pray. I'm going to make it even more simple for you. If you're bleeding nonstop, you know how to tell. Like I said, if it's clots coming out of you, if that nasty smell that we get is coming out of you, don't pray. Period. Allah loves cleanliness. If you don't feel comfortable standing before your Lord because you got clots falling out, and it smells that horrific, horrendous smell. Oh, God, I used to hate it. Woo! Ugh. That's a period. Don't pray. Period. When I went through my fibroid problem, I was like that. I bled for 2 months straight. It was the nastiest, filthiest thing ever. I didn't pray. I didn't pray at all during those 2 months because I knew that it was disgustingly menses. Okay? And I had a hysterectomy afterwards. Okay? Best thing that ever happened. Best thing that ever happened was a hysterectomy. They took me out of that pain, out of that bleeding. That's why I'm anemic. Why do y'all think I'm so pale? My anemia developed after that. I used to bleed so bad, it wouldn't stop. And it was disgusting. I knew I can't pray with this. This is menses. So it's not determined by the days. That was 60 days. This is menses. I ain't touching the prayer rug. Oh no. Standing before my Lord like this. Oh no. We gonna take care of this. Told the doctor, take it out. Okay. All right. So it's not determined by the length of time. Again, you sisters should be able to tell if you on your period. Again, istihada is no pain. Istihada is no clots. Istihada is spotting. It's just light spotting. And you sisters already know about having a baby. You know, after a woman has a baby, you already know that you don't pray until the bleeding stops. And the maximum amount of time that Allah has given us is 40 days to bleed for that. So that's all I want you to know about the menses for today. Istihada is an Arabic word that means I started my period and it hasn't stopped. Okay? If you look down there and see that blood, that's nasty. I don't care if it's 20 days. You ain't praying. Because Allah is not going to accept those prayers anyway. Okay? All right? Istihada is spots. Light. I don't even need a Kotex. Light. No smell. Light. Oh, wow. Did I cut myself? You would think that I cut myself? No. But you better run to the doctor and make sure that you ain't cut up there. All right? Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.